What up, my homies? In this video, we're going to be covering exactly what I believe is the best base location as well as base setup for breeding in Palworld. All in all, the video will include my favorite location for space and temperature management, as well as a basic base setup. We'll be looking at the best pulls for incubation, and then finally, we'll take a look at how to manage temperatures for incubation throughout the day and night cycles. Alright, so we'll be kicking things off with my favorite location. So as you can see, I've set up our little breeding base. We've got our two breeding farms there on the right, and you're in this nice pristine zone. Beautiful views all the way around, including the little snow biome that's kind of in the center of the map. When opening up your map, you can see the location. It's decently central, and you're sitting at this location at about 65, 85 on your map. This will get you right to this zone where you can see it's nice and spacious. And most importantly, if you look at that temperature gauge bottom left of the screen, we're right down the middle, perfectly neutral during the day. Keep this in the back of your mind, because when we head on over to nighttime, you'll see exactly why I dig this zone so much. All right, now moving on from the location, let's take a look at the basic base setup. So with it being a breeding base, we obviously have our breeding ranches. So two ranches to give us the option to, have two pull pairs breeding at the same time. So you could be maybe focusing on a base type pull on the right, looking for that artisan or workaholic stats. On the left, you could be building your fighter pulls, looking for ferocious or legend, those types of passives. On to the left over here, we have our berries, our wheat, and our tomato farms, just keeping our pulls self-sufficient with regards to food. First up, we have our cooling rooms, our neutral room, and then our heated room. Finally, we have our ranch here, which obviously we need to farm milk, honey, and eggs to make our cakes. Without cakes, you aren't going to be able to spawn those eggs. And then obviously the essential sleeping area. When it comes to these breeding room setups, the most important point here to remember is the distances between each breeding room. We're obviously looking to incubate cool eggs. We're looking to incubate neutral eggs as well as warm eggs. So for example, on the cool side, we have those damp, frozen, and dark eggs. For neutral, we have the common, verdant, as well as electric eggs. And then in our heated room, we have the scorching, dragon, and rock eggs. What we've done here is we split these rooms up with these little kind of impromptu structures. We have our kitchen here, which is a 2x2. So at the very least, two construction squares of space between our neutral and heated room. And then finally, heading on over to our cool room, we have a little medic tent here, which is also a 2x2, giving us that 2-block space between our neutral zone and the cool zone. If you go inside the cool room, you'll see that we have this device here by the name of a cooler, a little block of ice, which obviously keeps these eggs nice and cool when a pull with the cooling stat is applied to this tool. If this building was too close to the neutral tent, that cooling passive from that little cooler would jump on over to the neutral room and actually affect these eggs as well, making them too cold to breed at maximum performance. Same thing goes for the heated room. We have the heater device here that with any pull with a kindling stat would come up here and heat up this heater, making sure the warm room is nice and warm to make sure we're maximizing there on that 100% incubation. But once again, if this room was too close to our neutral room, it would make these eggs too hot and reduce that 100% incubation down to 50. So most importantly is just having enough space between each cooling room, being warm, neutral, and cold, to make sure that they are perfectly split and have the exact temperature they require to be at 100%. So that really is the most important thing of your base setup, is making sure these rooms are nicely split up between each other and not too close together. All right, looking at what I believe are the best pulls for incubation, we have the Van Worm Christ as well as Incineram. The main reason as to why these guys are the best for the job is that they can both incubate throughout the day as well as throughout the night. So you will be achieving 100% incubation throughout the day and night. Super important to maximize on that incubation speed. All right, let's test these guys out in action. So first off, let's take a look at how Incineram performs during the daytime. As you can see, bottom left, a perfectly neutral temperature here during the day. We'll move on into the heating room, toss our friend Incineram onto the heater, and place our eggs. So as we can see, the huge dragon, the huge rocky, and the huge scorching is up to 100% when Incineram is active on the heater. So taking down that total incubation time of a huge egg from 4 hours all the way down to 2 hours. So a good 2 hour saving there. If Incineram is not active on the heater, we see that it drops down to 50% incubation speed, therefore adding 40 minutes onto your total time there. So you really want to have him busy as much as possible. To do so, we've actually added a little feeding box here right next to him, so he doesn't have to travel too far when grabbing a snack. Okay, sweet. Let's see how Vanworm Chris performs in the day and the evening. We'll head on over to our cooling room here with Pesky from the Muscle Tribe of Danger, giving us a breakdown show. We head on over to the cooler. Toss our Vanworm onto the cooler. My apologies, wasn't the smoothest, but perfect for the example. So we'll throw in that huge dark egg, that huge frozen egg, and the huge damp egg. And as we can see here, we get that 100% incubation in the daytime with our Vanworm Chris in the cooling room. If we have to pick him up, same as before, it drops down to 15% as they are getting a little bit hot there and increasing that time from 2 hours to 2 hour 40 minutes. So once again, make sure your Vanworm is on this cooler all the time for that consistency. Now let's take a look at our neutral room. So where our common, verdant, and electric eggs are sitting. You can see on the right, we have our Vanworm Chris in the cooling room. We have our Incineram working in the warm room. But here we are placing our neutral eggs here, the huge common, the huge electric, and the huge verdant. And we get that 100% incubation speed. And that is perfectly thanks to the location being perfectly neutral in terms of temperature during the day. We would not be able to achieve this without this location. We would have to throw in a cooler here during the day and then activate a heater at night, so making things quite complicated. But because the location is so perfect, we have 100% here on our neutral eggs. Let's head on over to night. Back in our heated room in the middle of the evening, we have Incineram here hard at work, and once again we have that 100% incubation speed across all three types of our heat requiring eggs. Back in our cooling room here at night, we can see our Vanworm Chris hard at work and all of our eggs at that perfect 100% incubation speed right in the middle of the evening. If I take the Vanworm off just to illustrate, we lose that 50% once again, and our timer goes up to 2 hour 40 minutes without any cooling. And finally, here we are in our neutral room in the middle of the night with 100% incubation speed across all three of our neutral eggs. This is obviously very, very specific to the zone, as mentioned before. The perfect example of the perfect neutral temperature during the day and the evening to ensure we have 100% incubation across all three of our neutral eggs. Again, this is specifically because of the zone. There may be others on the map, but I just feel this is the best with regards to space as well as temperature that allow you to breed with perfect incubation speed across the heated, cool, and neutral, and throughout day and night. Alright my homies, I hope this video helped you out. For anyone that is interested in getting into the breeding aspects of Palworld, this should ensure that you maximize your time spent while breeding. I hope this clip helped you out. You are more than welcome to leave a like, or subscribe, and obviously drop a comment if you guys have any tips, maybe some better locations for me. I'd love to check them out.